unfortunately, she has that Nestle Crunch. Fuck you, Usher. Fucked it up for everybody. That's why she can't keep no man. But Chili is extremely, extremely attractive. Another one now, and again, I can use this to disprove your point about dark skinned black women not being, being blamed and being held to a standard or whatnot, all these other things. There's this chick called her, she's named Bernice Burgos. Bernice Burgos is one of the biggest Instagram models / influencers out here. She's a beautiful dark skinned woman. You know what Bernice Burgos is? Bernice Burgos was a teen mom. I think she's now even a grandma. And nobody even ever brings that up because you know why? She's a bad bitch, okay?
Wait a minute. That's not true. But go ahead. People always talk about how she's a grandma and how she can't keep.
Wait. They don't say that negatively though. And the people that are saying it negatively, you know who they are? There are other black women that are hating because she's able to get a fucking Bentley.
But it's being said.
And a phantom, despite being a fucking grandma. And being a teen mom and all these other things. So again, thank you for the alley-oop there, Sister George. You're always there for me, right by my side. Dark skin delegation. Let's go. See, listen, the biggest, and again, no disrespect to your late great grandmother, but again, the people that keep colorism going are black women.
That's fantastic.
You told a story, and again, no disrespect whatsoever, but again, your great granny said, if you black, get your ass in the fight, okay? She put you in the back of the house, all right? And again, it's sometimes to tell y'all, black women keep this colorism thing going, because again, why are you guys gonna throw away a whole brand of black women? We ain't talking about mixed, we ain't talking about the mulattoes. We talking about a woman that has a black father and a black mother. She just happens to be of a lighter skin tone. Okay, listen. I can go even further. But not just Bernice Burgos. Who's the other chick? The chick named Uchimba. Lupita Nyong'o. Wait. I got it. Lupita Nyong'o. SZA for me.
You call her all kind of uglies though.
You crazy? Oh wow! So wow! Whoa!
You didn't call Lupita ugly.
Lupita ugly?
You didn't call her ugly?
No, I never did. I said she was beautiful. She was extremely.
Okay. It was one of y'all that called Lupita ugly when
I thought he did too.
No, I never said that.
It was you.
No, it definitely wasn't me. But SZA, again, all these chicks that are of the dark hue, that I can admit that they're attractive females. But the thing is this: at the end of the day. The light is just the right, and that's my preference. Again, this is a feature. Again, just like everything else. Listen, skin tone is a feature, okay? And the problem is only being had by one side. Light-skinned black women don't complain about colorism.
They benefited from it.
Light-skinned men don't complain about colorism. Dark-skinned men don't complain about colorism.
They benefited from it.
Now, how? No, they don't work that way. If it's bad for one, it's bad for all.
No, sir.
And again,
everybody wants a black man. Black women's representations and everything have been.
And again, listen. If you guys, all you got to do, again, man. I think Sherman Klump told you in the Nutty Profession, man. No matter what, you got to strut, baby.
No, fantastic. Strutting is not going to help.
You know what I mean? That's the problem.
Be better women is the only thing.
All right? You gotta think that all the shit y'all talk to each other, being a bad bitch and this and that and so on and so. If you have that confidence, you're not gonna be worried about the next bitch, okay? Don't worry about the dick she getting, worry about the dick you can get. You feel me? And just be happy. All right? Again, it's too many of y'all out here.
Go out here and do an eye test with them. We go out here tomorrow, this whole weekend, all right? And look at all the couples. You know what you're gonna see with all the couples? You're gonna see the majority of these couples being dark-skinned men with dark-skinned women. You know why? Because again, mathematically, it's impossible for enough fucking light-skinned women to go around. And again, not every motherfucking light-skinned chick is a motherfucking 8, 9, a dime. You got some ugly ass light-skinned bitches out here too. I just saw one today at IHOP. She was like big, and she had a whole beard, y'all, a beard. I know she just had cafeteria lady written all over her resume without me knowing. But that's why she's at IHOP, because school's not in session right now. So again, man, not all light-skinned women are attractive. But when they are, they just are. I mean, I can't explain it. It's something magical. It's like, harps playing and and she's
Oh my
floating
God,
and
stop it. You
sunshine in
making
the
me want to throw
background.
up.
But again, hey, if she's a fine ass motherfucking chocolate girl, she get the same thing. All right, her just hearts just be kind of off a little bit. It don't hit the same way that light skin just do.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I'm
I
just
think
saying, listen,
fantastic, baby.
that is my preference. Again, and as you again, I mean, if you find you fine, okay, you got a shot, okay. If you just a badass motherfucking female, again, you are a badass female regardless of your skin tone. And if dark skinned black women would be able to just accept that, again, there is a hierarchy when in beauty. I'm sorry, don't blame me, blame God. Go holler at him, say a prayer or something, you do something, sacrificing kittens. I don't know, go holler at Dr. Miami. But at the end of the day, if you fine, you're fine. All right. And just that light skin is just fine as wine. I don't know. That's me, man. Greatly appreciate y'all. I will be holding my light skin court over the weekend. And you guys for hey, I'm on the market. So if you may qualify,
Yo, they gonna do like for the love of fantastic.
you know what I'm
Don't
saying?
believe him. He's full of it.
You know what I'm saying? Newly on the market. So if you are a fair skinned beautiful young lady, by all
I'm gonna
means.
send somebody. I'm gonna send a catfish over there.
Nah, no catfishes. But y'all got it, man. Holla.
All right,
Thank
fantastic.
you. With your colorist behind, Lord have mercy. That man there. Whew.
Shut up.
You see already when it started.
All right. Welcome, Pablo. Hold on. Let me just do the intro right quick. Y'all know how I like to do when this topic rears its dark head, right quick.
Raw and good hard, her eyes green, her ass clean, her skin tran, she's in here, she cook the food in that room, won't outfit when anywhere she's outside, I'm Carmine, she great bed with off her head, she'll hit that, cause she plays school, off her school, she never grew, No attitude, well head, you translate, she took it much a thought on her. Outside and never find her skin scream, high self-esteem, her skin smooth, no matter move, she really thick, can't bite that dick. Front twine with a knife behind, her skin's beige, she looks same age with a white girl glass and a big fat ass, her hair's long, let's get this song. She's light skinned, yeah. She's the only one I want. She's light skinned, yeah. The one I call when I wanna have fun. She's light skinned, yeah. She's the only one I want. She's light skinned, yeah. Light skinned, yeah. She's light skinned, yeah. She's the only one I want.
Light skin. Welcome to the Game Changer 00100 show. I'm your host, Game Changer. And yes, we're bringing this topic back up again. And you want to know why? Because there's a deeper meaning about this topic. The meaning behind it is tactics no longer work, and they're running scared. You see, before, during the boomer era, they were able to use tactics in the place of femininity. And even in the traditional aspect. A woman back then can say, you know something, I may not be the most feminine woman. However, I'll march with you for civil rights. I may not be the most beautiful woman. However, I can help you fight oppression. There's no more however. We don't care anymore. This is what we want from a woman. And it's the same thing that every man has wanted from women since the beginning of time, since Adam and Lilith. Period. There's not going to be any way around it. You can't march for somebody who I don't really care for, anyway. You can't do anything outside, and you're not even the one that's marching. You're basically saying that women that look like you is marching, therefore you deserve some penis. No, it don't work like that. Shape up or we will ship in. How about that? There is no alternative. They don't like to hear that. So now their latest tactic is, we're being treated unfair in the mating market. The mating market is not a fair place. Ask any guy who's short, has any facial disproportions of any type, or is economically hindered for whatever reason, even if that reason is he was divorced. Ask him how fair the dating market is. You know something? Don't even ask him. Ask each and every single guy that you have rejected in your 20s. Ask them how fair is the dating and mating market. And then ask yourself, what do you do to balance it? Do you adjust your mating standards? Do you do some type of self-evaluation and say, you know something, perhaps my mating standards is due to some sort of external programming and is truly not my own? Do you do that, or do you just say no? You're not tall enough. You're not six-packy enough. You're not six-figure-y enough. You're not hazel-eyed enough. I like an afro, or I like waves, or I like this, or I just don't like your body language. Which is weird because I'm a chess piece. But no matter what, do they ever try to rebalance the scales on their end? Yet they're asking for us to do that. See, what they're asking for is the right to create a reputation for being ratchet without the responsibility that comes with a ratchet reputation. Basically, what they're saying is, well, I want to be ratchet, but I don't want you to treat me like I'm ratchet. Basically, I want to just do ratchet stuff, and then when it comes down to it, I want to talk in my Melody voice and be treated as Melody deserves to be treated because she's been this way her entire effing life. They're saying, I want the ability to change my image as I meet a person. They're saying, I don't want you to see me coming. In the Boy Scouts, I remember a few things from the Boy Scouts, but one thing that's stuck with me because it rhymes. And this is in reference to snakes. There's two species of snakes. I don't know the name. One of them, they both have black, red, and yellow stripes, and they look very similar. However, if you are, you have to remember this to tell the poisonous ones from the not poisonous ones. On the stripes, if red meets yellow, kill a fellow. If red meets black, venom lack. Okay, that's fair enough. Which means that if you see a snake and it has red, black, and yellow stripes, follow that nursery rhyme or limerick or whatever you want to call it, right? Or you could just say, fuck all those snakes. You could just say that. I mean, some people might not want to take the time out to examine the stripes and to remember the thing. Yeah, red touch yellow, kill a fellow. Exactly, kid. You know, some people might just say, you know something? I'll just as soon not mess with it. But you see, that's snakes. Men aren't going to say, I'm not going to mess with a large demographic of women simply because of something like that. You know, we do take the time out to examine an attractive dark-skinned women. Let's not play like we don't. Let's not play like, you know, we don't see a dark-skinned woman and we still approach and say, I hope she's not ratchet. I hope she's not ratchet. I hope she's not ratchet. Okay. It's bullshit to assume otherwise. There's a motivation there, and it's between your legs. But they want to make it appear that there's some oppression, and we should just walk around pretending like all snakes are harmless. Like we didn't see 5 homies get bitten by a snake and 4 of them died. But I'm talking too much, and I did so on a previous show. Pablo, what's on your mind?
What's going on, GC?
What's up, brother?
Man, you always Johnny on the spot when I'm over there. You do parachute into my rescue, so I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
With some good points, though. What I don't get is, you know, what preferences, desires, you know, what particular features can a black man have that he prefers, that he likes, that would be acceptable to any of these women?
The features are to be given to you at the time of meeting. First of all, black men aren't really supposed to have individual standards of any type. We're supposed to cast a wide net and accept all black women's with vaginas. Period.
And what gets me is, okay, one of the things that attracted me to women outside of the United States is this. I prefer, and it wasn't skin color. Mm-hmm. I prefer petite women.
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm 6 feet tall and I weigh about 190 pounds. I'm not a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Never was. Most of the women in my family are small. When my mother got married to my dad, she weighed about 110 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not interested in women who weigh, I don't know, 200 pounds and they're 5'5". I don't find it sexual. I don't find it attractive. And so in order for me to find, more abundance of what I like, I had to go where there's an abundance of women who are 5'5" and 110 pounds. That just so happens to be south of the United States of America. Dominican Republic, Colombia, Brazil. There you have it.
Well, I mean, I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second. And I want to point out that all women are exactly the same. And the only thing that makes them different is if they're single mothers or not. Meaning that all women are really, the only ranking system that we have for women is single mother or not single mother. Therefore, if you find a petite, attractive, rich, feminine, submissive, sexual, single mother, she is the same as a fat, unattractive, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, single mother. That's what they were trying to say. When they were saying, what's the difference? I mean, the truth of the matter is, for a generation, they were able to take away a man's right to have a preference. A lot of Black men, because of our history in this country and perhaps even this world, felt that we didn't deserve a preference. And they pushed that narrative. I mean, they really just beat it into Black men.
Well,
and that tactic is no longer working. And now they find themselves at a disadvantage. And now they're trying to renew old, outdated tactics. Go ahead.
Yeah, what has happened is, the world has opened up. In 2 hours, I can get on a plane and be on another continent, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. We have people here in this country from all over the globe. And, you're not going to be able to just say, to just shame someone into having to deal with you. They just don't have to.
Right. No, I'm listening. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just saying, right.
Yeah, they just don't have to deal with you if they don't want to, for whatever reason. And Black women, especially of the ilk that we had the conversations with tonight, mm-hmm. They tried to pretend like Black women have no particular requirements at all when they tend to be the most particular motherfuckers that I know. I had a woman tell me in my 20s that I was dating at the time, "Oh, you don't have scarification." I said, "Huh?" She said, "Yeah, scarification." I said, "What's that?" She said, "Oh, that's like when you have a scar on your face. I think it makes a man look masculine and rugged." She was penalizing me for not having being slashed on the rec yard.
Exactly. Now, did you hit her with a ism? Did you hit her with a, oh, that's smooth skin ism, that's safe life ism, or whatever? That's not getting into prison ism. Did you hit her with that? Or, I mean, and really, if you got the scar on your face, it means that you lost the fight. I don't know why. I don't know why they equate that to a tough guy. Like,
hey, man, I was told. I shrugged my shoulders and said, "Oh, okay." Walk the fuck off. Yeah, that's it. That what you gonna do? People like what they like. They don't like what they don't like. If maybe you don't have some particular thing that they're looking for, what are you gonna do about it? Nothing.
Exactly.
Suck it up.
Exactly. Melody, what's on your mind?
Hi, I just have a couple of questions.
I love your voice. And what he said about it was very poignant. Go for it.
No, I just wanted to know, honestly, for all the guys on the panel, what is the difference between colorism and preference? I need to know that first.
There isn't one. To have a preference of any type means that you are a ism or a shamer of the opposite type. Basically, the tactic is to shame you for wanting what you want. And that's why it applies to any and everything. If I want, a certain nose, then it is featureism. If I want a certain height, it is heightism, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There isn't any. The isms, they're putting the isms on the back of everything to shame you for wanting that thing.
If you don't want women who jump up and twerk on couches, it's, oh, well, we're the face of ratchetness.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't shame us. Yeah.
Exactly. But why have this conversation with us? Why not have the conversation with the ratchets? Like, hey, you're making us look bad. Like, not a good look. I mean, don't get me
Game
wrong.
changer.
I'm not saying approach them on the street or anything, but some booing would have been nice. It would have been nice if all the women in the restaurant were to just say boo at the same time. I bet you she would never think of doing something like that again.
But game changer. That's what I had mentioned on the previous show that you and I were both on, along with others.
Uh-huh.
I said to myself, now wouldn't it have been nice if one of the other women in the next aisle or next table or group, because it seemed like they were a group of fours or threes, regardless, it would have been nice, and I agree with you, where it was like maybe one, then the other table caught on, then the other third table, because it seemed like it was a crowded restaurant at the time of the video that was shown, that they all got together and say, boo, in such a way, you got to be nice about this. Shame on you. And once they got the collective saying boo, they would have got the hint where it's like, you know what? I'm out of pocket. This is not right. We need to sit our butts down and act accordingly. But no, it ain't gonna be that. So as you mentioned, or the other brother mentioned, the ratchets talking to the ratchets. And I'm not saying that in that establishment, that restaurant, that the whole restaurant was filled with just ratchetness or ratchet. Maybe ones or twos, a couple, a few. But it would be nice if the ratchets, and I'm not going to throw it out there. Don't judge me and say, well, is there a particular ratchet language that's out there that when we speak intelligently to certain ones or women that they don't get the hint? So you got to have the ratchet talk or language to where it can get to their heads. Like, what is it? What does it take? And that's crazy that it comes down to that. Because if we do it, like this man he mentioned, we all pretty much, I guess, saw the video. And if you haven't, you can, Google is your friend. Yeah, you saw it. Review it. He came out and said, I'm doing this for you all. He didn't put out like any discriminated type of talk or preference or like ratchet and non-ratchet, fat, skinny, weave or no weave. He meant as a collective. Like, come on, I'm doing this for you all. And then we got to go with the shaming part. Here we go, game changer. Who he's married with and what child or children he's brought into the world. It's always that. So that gives you the reason not to act right because who he's married to, who's gone that far? Because you know how that goes. We got to go that deep. Once it's been put out there, well, I bet his woman, which we wouldn't have been thinking of that. We're just looking at the video. First thing in our minds when that goes down, we're not thinking, I wonder who his woman is. Well, and once they find out, game changer, I'm not surprised. I bet he wouldn't have treated white. It goes there. And the rabbit hole keeps going and going and going. Pandora's box. I bet he wouldn't have done that to white people. You've seen the videos. It's always an excuse. You ain't going to treat them like that. Or would you have done that to others? But it's like, wait a minute. You shouldn't have to. You give me game changer from the jump. It's 2020. And we still, not us and not others. So I'm just generalizing. I'm not trying to go there. We know better. By now, we should know better. And it's always referring back to this. When will it change? And that's why in my closing statements, game changer, these ones that's going to have to deal with this and attack this, because this ain't it's not our problem, because we don't prefer this. You got social media, you got the music out there. This has been going on and on. You know what I mean? Loving the WAPs, the Cardi B's. She ain't even black. So it's like, wait a minute. Look at what you're dealing with. Look at what you're going up against. But yet you don't want to be seen as the collective.
Can I ask you a question? Full circle?
Go ahead.
What makes Cardi B not black?
Do you think she's black?
Yeah, her mom is black and her dad is Dominican. Yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, don't you think she could be doing better? Let's put her in there. So I'm going off your answer. Let's throw her in there. And once again, as Game Changer said, lovely voice.
Thank you.
Okay, so you're welcome. So let's throw her in there. Don't you think she should be being an example? This is going back to the same thing from the other panel. This is what women of integrity have to deal with and fight. She's not a part of the cause. To me, personally, she's a part of the problem.
Yeah,
you agree?
I agree.
I'm married to a Latina. Let me help you out with
Go
that.
ahead. Go ahead.
Cardi B does not behave the way she behaves around us, the way she does around her own people in their environment. And the reason why is because she has license to do so here that she doesn't have there. Don't get me wrong, they got their own version of ratchet and their own thing, but what they do, they keep it, they keep it behind closed doors or keep it within the group. They don't put it on the camera for everybody to see.
I agree with that.
And then to add on to that, then you got Megan the Stallion collaborating Melody with a Cardi B. You know what I mean? Which makes it worse. Instead of Megan the Stallion saying, "I'm not going to do that because this is a bad example." It's no different from Nicki Minaj. You know, and the young women that look up to Nicki Minaj. Remember, there was a time when young ladies Nicki Minaj was on a pedestal, on cloud nine, and the young ladies was just like, we love her. And you know, and then they got it like in Team Nicki, Team Cardi, Team Nicki. You know, this battle back and forth. But going back to Megan Thee Stallion, she doesn't sit back and say, you know what, I want to set the example because I'm seeing so much going on out there. There was even a rapper out there, female rapper. I think she got out the game because she saw she had to take a look back. She decided to get, with all the money, with all the prestige, the fame, to let it go because she saw what it was going to do and what it was going to possibly become, you know, in the future. She didn't want to be a part of that. Hats off to her. You don't find many like that that'll take and put fame and money on the back toe, you know, on the back end, and say, I don't need that. It's not that important from what I'm witnessing with the future of Black women, young Black women, which will one day, Melody, be at our age or even older. It's a triple effect. And now some are paying the price.
Matter of fact, to prove my point about Cardi B, if you look up one of her videos with Ozona, which is reggaeton, she has some a few videos with Latin artists. Look at her videos with the Latin artists and what she does with them, as opposed to what she does in a video like WAP.
Oh no, I agree with
Total different presentation. It's sexy, but it's not ratchet. Yeah, that's the best word I can use to describe it. Her videos with them are sexy, but they aren't over the top, gratuitous raunch.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's more of a culture. It's more of an American culture thing.
Yeah.
Citizen Lou, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hit the like button, people. Yeah, we can hear you, Citizen Lou.
Cool. Hey, man, this is a good. this topic is always getting brought up. But I was watching and I noticed a lot of disingenuousness. Like, okay, so for one, right, when they always bring up like foreign women are just trying to get with Black dudes for green cards and all that. Look, man, why are they acting like Black American women aren't the biggest finessers of the Western world?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, if anything, we learn how not to get finessed by dealing with Black women. I think that's totally disingenuous. Another thing too, I saw this lady. She was talking about how Black people, especially like with this colorist thing, it's like we treat being Black like a scab. You know what I mean? Like, we just keep picking at it, like it's so bad. And then she was bringing up that Black women are seen as the ratchets. I mean, if you look at who Black women are, the ones uploading these ratchet videos. There's not a white man following Black women around like on some National Geographic type deal. They are recording and uploading the ratchetness. So if they don't like them being portrayed as ratchet, do not partake in the ratchetness, don't follow ratchet pages, and don't record it and laughing at the bullshit. Because like you brought up with the Dominicans, like with Cardi B, yeah, I don't see too many of them, laughing about, fighting and beating up grandmas and beating up, you know what I mean, and twerking in restaurants and stuff. That's what I'm saying. It's totally different. And Cardi B's mom is not necessarily Black. She's
her mother's Trinidadian, which is
but she's white though, because she's like half Trinidadian, half something else. And if you've seen her mom, her mom's pretty much white.
I seen her mom. Her mom just looked like light skin, like a Afro. What do you call that? Trinidadian.
Yeah, but she's like what was that? What's they called it? Octoroon back in the day, 1/8 Black.
Well, I mean, I don't know, but I mean, should we really? What they're trying to do is they're trying to lower the pool from what you. First of all, they want to get you to say, "I only mess with Black women," and then reduce the definition of Black women.
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I mean, if we talk about like if the way octoroon is if the grandparent, excuse me, great grandparent, if one of them was was not pure, then they're not black, and I only mess with black. They want to limit your choices while expanding theirs. I mean, they were able to control black men's ability to have standards for far too long, for far too long, using these tactics. It's unfortunate now that it's not going to work.
Can I say something?
I remember right quick. I remember like back in the day, I used to be able to get like, maybe like $40 worth of groceries, for 85 cents. But now they got security cameras everywhere. So things change. Things change. You can't do the things now that you could in the past, and you got to adapt. Now I got to buy the stuff. Go for it.
And I was saying, I hate when people say that just because my mom is Dominican don't mean she's not black. Like all my life growing up, I heard people saying, "You're not black. Your mom's not black." She's black. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, she's Dominican, but she's still black. So I hate when people try to say, "Oh, because they're not American black, they're not black."
Well, they want to eliminate you as competition, basically, as competition for men. And Citizen. So, did you hear my closing statement?
Yeah, I was in there when you said about elaborate again.
Yeah, so the hypocrisy of not wanting to be stereotyped while stereotyping other groups of women.
Mm-hmm.
They just want a green card. They just want.
Oh, right. Yes, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
And you were bringing that up when you were saying that they're saying, so basically they want to be able to stereotype other groups of women, them bad, and if you call me bad, then it's like, oh no, I just want the ability to be judged fairly. But we are judging fairly. I mean, men who have experienced both have made a fair judgment and a fair assessment, and they win. Like apples to apples, they win. And it's not by like a little bit. It's by quite a big margin. I mean, they are winning by about 50 pounds, about 80 femininity points, about I'd say 30, 40 cooking points, and 250 get me a sandwich points. They're winning.
Yep.
And so don't try to act like they're the same. And then once you equate the two, point out their negatives or invent negatives that doesn't really exist in high numbers. Now,
I kind of wanted to touch on something real quick about melody. I wanted to just retract the melody real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So Mel, when you were saying about the Black American thing, so Black Americans, now we're gonna have to like establish a set of standards, right? I mean, there is a difference. There's a difference between Black Dominicans. There's a difference between Black Americans. Black Americans have a different history, a different culture, different models and everything, just like Dominicans have. Dominicans have Spanish, we have English. There is a difference. So what the problem is going on in America is that there are, like that Indian dude, like people are pretending to be black when it suits them, but then at the other time it's not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to like bring a colorist thing in there. It's just that if you're Dominican, you're Dominican. If I'm a Black American, then I'm a Black. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but black. All right. Wait, how do I put this? Okay, so like Black Americans are called African Americans, right?
I don't claim that title. I'm a Black American.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I mean, Dominican is in America too. I think what she's saying is it shouldn't. I mean, the division is going to exist no matter what, and that's and actually,
but my thing is it shouldn't be division. I'm just saying we are different, and we should just accept it.
I get it. The different labels. I get it, and with it comes a different culture. And if Pablo think that their culture is more pleasing to him, and it is
all day, every day.
Yeah, black women from the United States have the least pleasing culture to a man that has ever existed, ever.
Exactly. And Melody, your mother's Dominican, right?
Yes, correct.
And see how different you are than the Black American women here. I know you've noticed. So there is a distinct difference. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even the voice is different.
Yeah, the voice exactly. It's a total difference, and I understand what you're saying. You don't want to like you might feel ostracized. No, it's not ostracization. We're not kicking you out. We're just saying, look, man, this is your name tag. This is mine. You can still be in the group. It's just we got different name tags.
Game changer. Can I say
I
this
get
to
what you're
add on to
saying.
that?
Yeah,
Look
go
at
for it.
this. This is for Melody. I've witnessed this from different channels, from the chats. I'm going off of what the brother just said. I've witnessed Melody get hated on and challenged. Now, these certain ones don't know Melody from Adam, from a can of paint. But because of what you mentioned, Game Changer, and I agree with you and the brothers on here, from her tone, how she acts, how she interacts with other black men on the channel when it comes to like, women shouldn't be on no black men, all black men, she comes off in a way that of, can I use the word preference, what we prefer, what we can even
Right.
interact and have a literally a conversation intellectually where it's not the back and forth, the attitude, the arguments. Melody in these black YouTube streets is highly hated. Get what I'm saying? She could have came just yesterday. All of a sudden, it's like you've seen it, Game Changer and the others and the ones in the
Yeah.
chat. Who is this Melody? And it's ones like Melody, and there's others coming when Melody is here and gone, like Melody. But ones like Melody, it's not put up to be like, you know what? There you go, as they would say, black women say, there you go, girl, set the tone. She's pretty much the opposite of what is preferred and wanted. Isn't that sad? That's a shame. But
It
yet
is.
there's a drawback of like, you can't say that. Well, wait a minute, you have a woman right here being a prime example. You're speaking and asking for certain things. She's not saying she's preferably the spokeswoman, but she sets the tone and she's an example. And as we converse right now, we're conversating and actually having a great conversation. There's no, let me get in. Oh, you can't. We're not even coming at Melody like that. And it's not that she's even kissing our, thank you, Melody. She's not even kissing our butt, but we know what we want. We know what we expect. And we know if we're talking about black love, let's go there. Black love. We know what black love is.
Mhm.
It's diminishing. It's disappearing as we speak, as we see it. It's just almost, it's to the point where on the stats, we can do the stats. I don't have the stats, but it ain't looking good. We know what we want, but if we speak on it, we're the problem. We have an issue. But once again, as was on the other channel that you were on too, Game Changer, it's not us. You know what I mean? Pointing the finger, it's not us. Some won't even look at themselves. You got that song. I'm gonna throw this in and I'm gonna throw it back at you, Game Changer. It Killed Me by Sweetie. Is a Sweetie. 6-figure, 8-figure, my type. That's not my type, my type. You know that song, my type, my type,
Nope.
my type, my
Yeah.
type. When I first heard that, and I was sitting there are women, it's like pigeons. Their heads start lifting. That's right. That's right. They love that. Let's be honest, they love that. And Sweetie, and any type of song like that. The Ratchet, there's another song like that too. Ratchet. Sexy, smooth, adapted. What's happening? They love that. They love that crap.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
sit back and say, like, we not feeling that. So what if we put out a song and flip it and say, yeah, our type. Three, size 3, size 2, size this. That's our type. That's
Yeah.
that's our
Yeah.
type. They don't have a problem. You get a Game Changer. There's a problem.
No, I get it.
Okay.
Right, and her pussy is
Right.
Exactly.
yeah.
And you know what? I wanted to bring this analogy to you real quick, Mel. So I want to bring it to you like this, right? So
Mhm.
when you say that I'm black, right? This is what essentially happens. You guys remember like doing a group project in school,
Mhm.
and you always had that one person who did all the work and everybody else didn't do shit.
Yeah.
So by you, Melody, saying I'm a black woman, you're in a group where the other people aren't doing shit, but they're gonna get the grade based off you because you're in the group. But if you separate yourself from the group, now they're like, oh shit. Now that's why they were like, you think they hate you now, Melody? If you were to say you weren't black, they would really hate you then. Because now they can't use you as a prop, because if black men started marrying black Dominican women, it would look like, oh, black people are all getting married and stuff like that. But in reality, black American women aren't. You see what I'm saying? And they don't have to improve their situation because now they're just riding the coattails of darker skinned women from other nations.
So Jack Nickelback, he said something that I definitely agree with. He says she comes off in a way that raises standards, so she has to be minimized and ostracized. Absolutely.
Yep.
Women like Melody sets a bar for men to aspire towards. Now, what they want to do is, and this is what this is really all about, they want us to, when we hear and see Melody, disqualify her, think that the attraction that we have to her femininity is really the result of colorism. Our mind is not our own, is what they want to do. So they will only attack. They're really attacking her personality and her voice and other aspects that we find attractive to her. They're attacking the bar that she is setting of womanhood. Same with women from other countries. They set a new bar. They don't want that bar to be set, so they attack it. And the bar that they're setting isn't something that can be faked on a short period of time. Like Sister George was doing your voice. This is something, if you're in a relationship with something, it's going to be a permanent thing. And the ratchet will eventually show. So their best bet, if they want to maintain their lifestyle, is to get men to accept ratchet, basically.
So Melanie, the other brother here on the panel, he makes a good point in that, I'm married to an Afro-Latina, but I don't try to assign her my cultural label, so to speak, because she has her own culture and history and all of the things that go with it. She and I know that we share, some origins on the continent of Africa and the slave trade and all of that. Matter of fact, we can even see it in the foods that we eat. Dominicans eat a dish called give me just a second. Okay, we eat chitlins. They call it mofongo. Right. It's pig intestines. It's prepared differently, and it's the same thing. Why? Because Dominican Republic also had slaves, and they would eat the food scraps of the Spanish, who didn't want those organs and all of that stuff. So we both have experienced and shared each other's food, and she told me what it was, and I told her what mine was. Right?
Yeah, that's gross.
But what we don't do is I don't try to Americanize her and make her and say, okay, you're black like me. No, she's her own kind of black. She is Latina. She is Dominicana. So I don't try to make her fit into my cultural box to make other people feel comfortable.
Well, because of the negative stigma, most women why am I echoing? Most women don't want to be associated with that. If you're a woman of any class, you're not going to look at the woman twerking in the restaurant and say, I am with her. That's my people. I want her. I want people to know that I am a part of this clique. You're not. So I can understand why women of different nationalities but same race will just disassociate, and also understand why women who do have this nationality also disassociate. And that's where you get the whole woman who's pitch black, but they say I'm 132 Indian or something like that. Let's be real. That's just them trying to disassociate themselves from a negative reputation. Now, I was saying to Sister George and Concrete Rose that the only way to escape this negative reputation that you have created for yourself is to counteract it, is to be better women. And instead of doing that, they said, no, there is a other way. And that is to convince everybody that they didn't see what they seen. That the negative reputation that they created for themselves, didn't exist. And then they throw out stuff and try to put the reputation on other people, kind of like me saying, I know a bunch of Asian kids that dropped out of high school. Now I don't, because nobody does, because it's a false thing, but they're just trying to create I know a bunch of ratchet Dominican shit, they just trying to throw stuff out there, grabbing at straws, when really they need to be grabbing at bread and making me a sandwich. Like that's what they should be doing. Now I want to shift topics a little bit to the reason why I titled it this, because I figured I'll kill two birds with one stone. I was going to do a separate video on this, but I'll kill two birds with one stone. The Mammy trope. I was listening to a female YouTuber talking about this exact same thing earlier today. The colorism and the thing that's going around the YouTube space because of Jessica. And one of the and Miss Fantastic, and one of the things that really hit me was she said that we should embrace the Mammy. Now, for those of you who don't know, Mammy is like it's a trope that was created about 100 years ago. Really before that, really before 1920. But that's when picture movies started coming out. So it was really amplified then. What it is a overweight, dark-skinned Black woman in a bonnet. She's sassy. She is not particularly bright. She's chronically single. In fact, she is almost definitely always single.
Yeah, asexual almost.
Yeah, she's definitely not almost. She's so okay. A good point. She was actually made to be asexual because what was going on was they wanted to promote slavery. They wanted to promote slavery as a positive. Those who had that political agenda, and then after that, they wanted to promote Jim Crowism, et cetera, as a positive. And that's why they created this image of this happy-go-lucky, non-sexual, meaning she's not really sexual. She's not a sexual threat to white women figure that is happy with her plot in life, and she's not intelligent enough to survive otherwise. That was the trope that they created. And, and she's belligerent, so you don't really feel bad for what happened to her. So there's pluses and minuses that comes with that trope. One of the pluses is she has complete and total authority over the men that are in her life because they're typically not her mate. They're her son. They're her nephews, but they're her underlings of some in some sort of way. If she has a brother, she is employed and they are not. Therefore, that gives her dominion over them. Yeah, she leads the family, et cetera. She can cook. And no matter what she says and does, it's embraced by the upper classes. So there's aspects of that they want to maintain. That's the love aspect that they have with the Mammy trope. The hate aspect of it is that she is asexual. You said it best. I think that was Citizen Luke. You said it best. She's asexual. What they're trying to do now is they're trying to make us, the BMs, try to have sex with Mammy. They want us to like it the way they conditioned us to like chitlins. They want us to actually embrace something that was meant to be asexual. Now, when they displayed white womanhood, it was something completely different. But this was Black womanhood. So they want us to have a different mating standard than everybody else that includes or really puts Mammy at top priority. Embrace the Mammy is what she said earlier in the thing. We should take the good aspects of Mammy and make those our mating criterias. Now, it's completely absurd. And, we may have done it in the past, Louise Jefferson, Florida Evans, et cetera. We may have done that in the past. But Florida Evans had a daughter and her name was Thelma, and I want that, period. What say you fellas?
Game changer. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. this is going off. I think I don't know if he still has the video up, and who I'm referring to is not Game Changer. I'm on Game Changers. Ramil Amir. He put out a video of Ratchet. He had the avatar of the Ratchet tool, the Ratchet. And just to throw this at you, Game Changer, I've dated Hood. Going back to that colorism and preference, I've dated Hood. I've dated Ratchet. I've dated the non-Ratchet Hood type intellectual professionals. I've done all of that, and I sat back and I've witnessed this. And this is just a question. Well, maybe not just a question, just to get this thought out. I've witnessed where back in the good days, where you'll have let's say 4 or 5 females, black females, okay? It'll be 3 or 4 that are ratchet. And out of the 3 or 4, it'll be one that's out of place. So approaching them, not with your buddies or friends, just you by yourself, you go toward them now, and maybe it's an age thing, maybe it's a maturity type thing, or just experience in life. When you first approach those 4 or 5 women, right from the tip, from the jump, it'll just show. You can tell the ones that are ratchet in some cases you can't. Going back to what I said about preference, you know what you don't want and you know what you do want. Now in your other mind, you're like, maybe with the ratchet, and I'm tying in Ramil Lamir's video with Ratchet, and how they are, and they're over the intellectuals. You know what you're willing to accept, and that goes back to the ones that get caught up with the ratchet ones, and later on, and I wouldn't say a mistake, end up having children with the ratchet type. But from the jump as a black man, from the jump of what you want. As you get older and through experience, Game Changer, certain things you're not going to tolerate. You've got a certain group or a generation that thinks that ratchetness is the cool thing, and it's not. It's nowhere being put out there where it's like, this needs to change because this is not helping and it's not going anywhere. It's going back to what you said with the Mammy thing. It's being put out there that this is what you need to accept. Accept it or leave it. A good portion of black men are like, I'd rather leave it. Now, I'm not throwing in the ideology. You know where I'm going with this, with the whole SYSBM. You could tie it in, but that's not where I'm going with that. I'm going back to the whole preference thing. And when it comes to colorism, something that wasn't mentioned on the other channel, some like to throw that in. Oh, you decided to go the other route and go to another country and go all way out. Some won't even go out of another country, let alone if they can get there. They'll rather just even stay here and venture out. This is going way, way, way back. You know what I mean? From the time, let's say, like us on this panel were born, and what we've experienced, to where it's like, it's a number of things: ratchet, attitude, everything in a package, like a package deal. So going back to that I mentioned, when you first approach those women with ratchet, it's like looking at it where what I won't accept, what I don't want, and what I will accept. And 9 times out of 10, you got to ask yourself, in the end, well, does that ratchet really think that she's going to be the one winning? Because from what I'm seeing, it's more complaints and issues and dramas. And like the video that was put out earlier, we're seeing more and more and more of this. We don't see the opposite of the ones like the melody videos, the melody commercials. No, the ratchet videos are being put out on World Star,
right?
All that's being promoted. And when we see it, it does something psychologically, not to us. We know what time it is, Game Changer, us on the panel and other black men on the panel. We see it. Black women see it too. But it's being pushed and promoted leaps and bounds. And now it's being pushed to the point of just accept it. And that's what they want, Game Changer. You're right. They want us to accept it. So when the black men that are out on the dating scene and you come across one like that, they're not even going to think twice, because it's a mindset. It's a mind F up. Where it's like, you know what? I know she's ratchet, but I still love her. I know she hood is hood, but look at all I get compared to so nothing against Ramil. I feel it. I've been there and done that. But when it comes down to it, you know the deal, and you can be not you, Game Changer, myself. Others, you can shame us if you want to. It ain't gonna work, because we know what we deserve and we know our worth and value. And that's what they're trying to fight and go up against us with. Trying to shame us to make us accept ratchet and hood, knowing dang well it ain't cool and it ain't right, and that's not what we want.
Well, let me give you 2 modern day present mammies, Lonnie Love and Lizzo.
Sure.
Those are the two mammies that they're selling to the culture right now. Lonnie Love and Lizzo.
Yes.
They're trying to pass them off as, strong, independent, and sassy, and all the rest. So now the asexual part, Lizzo is definitely trying to thought it up, but nobody's buying, right? Nobody's buying that as sexy. Well, she wants an NBA baller, and she's 300 pounds.
I think that to be the asexual part, because there are some disgusting low life simps that would smash Lizzo. I think a better example would be like Lori Lightfoot and Whoopi Goldberg. You get what I'm saying? Like just totally asexual, just completely no man would find that attractive. You get what I'm saying?
Well, Whoopi's kind of aged out of that area, and Whoopi was married to some Jewish guy.
Yeah, but yeah, you talking about I know what you mean. Yeah, but I'm talking about black men.
Yeah,
black men ain't nobody checking for Whoopi.
Nah, not at all.
But you know what? I'll use Jill Scott. Myself, going back to preference, if you want to compare that with colorism, when I see Jill Scott and how I got into her really was from her concerts and I guess the movie she was in with Tyler Perry had cast her. It's something to me. Jill Scott, regardless of her size and if she slims down a little bit, this and the other, I don't even look at her like you was on the channel, Game Changer. It's not a black man issue or problem. We don't look at it like that. Well, it's Jill Scott, whatever your preference, but look at her color, dark skin, light skin, this and the other. I just look at her beauty, but everyone has their type.
Full
You
circle.
get what I'm saying?
Full circle. Have you ever seen Jill Scott when she was thin?
I haven't.
I
I've
have.
never. Wow.
I have. There's a video.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's by Cool C. It's called The Glamorous Life. Back in the mid 80s.
Okay.
I might try to share it. Let me see here for a second.
Okay.
I might be able to find it here on YouTube.
And while you're looking that up, I'm just throwing this in. Game Changer, I've seen light skin, ratchet, every type of color type of ratchet. Mm-hmm. But I look at it as an excuse. You know what I mean? If it ain't one thing, it's another. Just like with the video. If the restaurant was filled with light-skinned women, would that black man literally have a reason to stand on the square and speak the way and say what he had to say? Yes. They're trying to use that. It's always an excuse, Game Changer. Well, if it was like this, it's like that. And now we're the face of that. We're the face of it. Nothing has changed. I haven't seen anything change. It's 2021. We're getting close. Holidays, this and the other. It'll still be music and videos being put out. Full force. Trust and believe. Go ahead.
So this is a Cool C video.
Okay, I'm not gonna play the audio.
Okay, let me turn the audio down. I'll turn it off. But the lead girl in this video is Jill Scott, and you will see her come through here in just a second.
Okay.
Now that's not her, but she's gonna play the lead girl walking down the street here. That is Jill Scott in 86, 87.
Damn. Okay. She looks a lot better. Yeah.
There she is.
Well, she look a mess.
She looks a lot better. Yeah.
Thin, pretty.
That's what that way to do to you.
So, I mean, and it has nothing to do with her skin tone.
At all.
No.
Yeah. So for them to just reduce it is really to just dismiss everything we're saying. Because basically what we're saying is we have a list of things that we want to change, that we want to see changed about the culture. And then they say, oh, no, you're just colorist. And, it's insulting. And that's one of the many reasons why I came up with the light skins song. Because it's like, look, if you're going to insult us that way, dismiss everything that we're stating that we want. to basically saying we don't know our own mind and we're brainwashed, then, you know, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play with that, because that's simply, it's really disrespectful, you know. First of all, you're dismissing it, like you're dismissing I mean, how many times on the panel just now did I say, you know, you know, it's the weight, it is the, you know, and even the general, shout out to him, he was saying that it's the lack of femininity and the unwillingness to cooperate. You know, we kept saying this, and they kept saying that no, this is not why you like this, it is because of this. It's like, no, we know what we like and why we like it. No, it's because of this.
They're trying to Jedi mind trick us.
Well, yes, is gaslighting at its worst. You know, it is. Now, Jack said something interesting, and I didn't even put this together. It seems like what they're doing now is doing a combination of the Mammy and the Jezebel. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Jezebel was the where Mammy was asexual, Jezebel was hypersexual, meaning that she was the whore, she was a harlot, she was somebody who didn't have control of her sexuality. She wanted it all the time from anyone, you know, for reasons none other than her own gratifications. This trope was made for a completely different reason. This trope was made to excuse all sexual acts, consensual or otherwise, that was done to her, whether it's soliciting her as a prostitute or just downright, you know, RAPEing her. You know, this was to say later, like, yeah, I mean, but can you really, you know, RAPE somebody who wants it all the time? And we all know how they want it all the time. So it's that trope was created also for equally nefarious reasons. Now, what seems to have happened now, both of these women, both the Mammy and the Jezebel, are really seen as feminine, because wanting sex all the time is a masculine thing. I mean, that's how we think, you know. Aggressively seeking it is something that men do. So none of these qualities is really a feminine quality. In fact, there wasn't, that I know of, a feminine trope for Black women to follow 100 years ago. What seems to have happened now is they have created an identity that combines both the Jezebel with the Mammy and projected that onto themselves and attempted to get, you know, men on board with it. But, you know, no one really wanted that. Like, you know, men generally just don't want that.
No, they don't. And like you said, you know, they're trying to, like my brother Pablo said, they're trying to rewire our programming. Like
Exactly.
they want, like, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to hack our, you know, our software into not wanting what we really want. And then if we do act it out, then it's, oh, y'all caping for these foreign women, and oh, y'all, it's all this nonsense, all this shaming type. It's just like, look, man, like, just leave us alone. Like, can that be said? Like, just leave us alone. Like, for real, just do y'all, and we'll do us.
Right.
Because if we're the ones creating this, is that what you got, Gang? That's kind of what I'm getting. It's like they're trying to blame us for their poor, ratchet image in the world.
Well, they're trying to blame us for seeing a group of women who behave in a ratchet manner collectively as collectively.
Right. Because I think what it is,
they're trying to do.
Right. Because I think what it is, if we go out to other groups, that says to other groups that, oh man, Black women must not be nothing that Black men are leaving. Right. So that is how they feel slighted. Am I right in that thinking?
That could be true. It could be a matter of PR, to which I don't care. Like,
right. Yeah, me either.
What do I have to gain from your positive PR, especially when you don't care about my opinion? So, I mean, because like, if we think this way and other groups don't, then what you're essentially doing is you're trying to get other groups of people to embrace you, knowing that you're repulsed by us. And why would I help you do that?
Right, exactly.
And what they're trying to do is change 10,000 years of human male evolution and desire. Think about this. If we were, let's say, 15,000 years ago, and we're out on the savannah with a group of humans, right? We have our group. There's another little tribe, down the road a piece, and we're doing our thing. And you have a woman in your group who is belligerent, who misbehaves, who is maybe lazy and uncooperative, and she goes down to that other neighboring troop and starts some type of trouble. Now she becomes a liability and a danger to your survival, because she is now so far out of control and pocket. She has gone and made an enemy, right? In a time, maybe it's a time of famine, or maybe it's a time of some type of lack, and now she has gone and added to it by making war with your neighbor.
True.
And men, time immemorial, don't want them problems, because we got too much other shit on our plate to have to deal with, and have to deal with misbehaving women.
True. No, I mean, it is an extraordinary liability, and really that what you just described, Pablo, is the protection argument. Basically, when they say they want protection, they mean exactly that scenario. Because when you protect something that you don't have authority over, then that's the inevitable results of that.
Yeah, chaos, and the ending of your of your existence.
Yeah.
Well, let's be fair too. If you're protecting something you have no authority, you're a slave warrior as well.
Yeah. You're an unsullied. You're a eunuch.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Like on Game of Thrones, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what they want us to be.
Exactly. Unsullied were modeled after. There were real people like that. They were called janissaries, But yeah, that's exactly what they want. They want
super killer simps. That's what they want.
Pretty much.
Because that's all the unsullied were.
Well, guys, I gotta go to bed. Y'all have a good night. It's been a wonderful conversation. Thank you, GC, for having me again.
Oh yeah, you have a home here. I mean, you and I, we understand. I've been seeing you on the panel, and they try to shame you for your wife and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, GC, I'm so not used to dealing. I've been married to a Latina for almost a decade now, so I'm not used to dealing with them. So I get a little frustrated up there, and I'm always glad when you parachute in and drop kick a few.
Now, are you married or are you happily married?
I'm married. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, man, I'm still here. We still kicking it.
That's cool. That's cool, brother. All right. You have a nice night, man.
Good night.
Peace, bro.
But yeah, so I mean, they want to keep these tropes that weren't created by anybody, but it was created by white men, but I mean, you don't have to perpetuate it. And that's all we're saying. Like, you don't have to perpetuate these tropes that were created for you. They talk about the media and this, and this, and they say that the media is brainwashing Black men to like certain things. Like, they make you into this and they tell us to like this other thing. It's like, well, no, we just like that other thing. Now,
and we don't need the media to see it.
Exactly.
We can go to our household, our auntie house, our family reunion, church, the Walmart. You don't have to go on TV at all.
Exactly. So yeah, it's a game. I mean, it's a tactic. Like, they're basically saying, look, I want to be this way. I'm not going to change, nor am I going to realistically encourage others to change. I mean, come on now. Like, if we go to any of the women's channel or most of the women's channel, even the ones who are down for, the black man and blah, 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 are they really telling these sisters to change? And shout out to Danica Dope Discussions. Shout out to her, because she is really about that. She is really about trying to get these sisters to change.
Yeah, they're gonna have
and
to.
they can't shoot at her and say, oh yeah, but she's well, no, she's black. She's Black American. Yeah, but she's like, nah, she's pretty brown. Yeah, but she grew up. No. They can't really, they want to, but they can't. I remember one time they was talking about, yeah, she dressed like that because she's a pick-me. And then she did a response in a plastic bag, and she was sexy in it. So it's like, look, that doesn't change the message. And her message is mine.
Yeah, man. I don't, hey, man, ejectocito, man. I'm done with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why, you know what I mean? It's through. They done. They cooked. It's over. Black men have made their choice.
But they refuse to change. It's over.
Well, I mean, that's on them. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they're looking to see. Here's the thing, and this is to the black women that are listening. Some of them are like hate listening. Listen, no, because I get that. But the negative stereotypes exist. You do not have to get your stereotype from entertainment. You don't. Just because they show these images, in half 400 years, a big mama's house, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, that doesn't mean you have to get fat. It just doesn't.
They don't.
Just because they showed the Jezebel, it doesn't mean that you have to be fat and promiscuous. And then those things combine in an overweight woman twerking in a restaurant. That's belligerent. She's the Mammy Jezebel. Like, it's the, this is never going to be, they're never going, listen, be the best version of what you can be for a man, period. We're going to go for the best things. You're not going to shame that out of us. You're not going to blame it. You're not going to do something insane. No matter what you do, we're going to go for the best option. So make yourself into the best option.
Exactly. And we need to look, man, like Melody was saying on the panel about featureism. Look, it's featureism, but at the same time too, a lot of more than that is cultural. It's how you were raised, it's how you carry yourself. And a lot of times, if you were raised a certain way, you're gonna take care of your body differently, your hair differently, how you dress, and all those things are gonna, equate to an attractive feminine woman. So what I'm proposing to black men out there, man, we have to breed this slave cultural gene out, man. This mammy, like you were talking about, this mammy gene, we need to breed this shit out, man. We need to, because the kids, man. I'm just saying, man, we can't have more of this shit going on, man, because we're getting at a critical mass at right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it would be different if it was functional, and
it's not. It's
that's the main thing. It's like, look, I couldn't even make these concessions if I wanted to. Like, even if I wanted to concede to what you're talking about, even if I wanted to make those concessions, it wouldn't even work. It's like, okay, I don't want a big girl, but if I want to get with a black woman, I have to get with a big girl and make it work. And it worked, and that's one thing. That's something that you did it for the people. But those relationships don't even work. Those relationships don't even work at all. So, it's inevitable. I mean, you're going to, it's not going to be best for the kids, put it like that. Chances are you're going to wind up divorced. She's going to have a say in what the children behave and eat, and, and it's going to be some do whatever I want. And during the relationship, you're gonna have to deal with all kind of random twerking and stuff. And then, she's gonna be like, oh, you're a bitch. How come you didn't beat the owner? Protection. You're gonna deal with crap like that.
But my thing is, though, this is how you know what I was talking about, that Mammy gene. It's total disrespect toward black men, because when that Asian restaurant was beating those women ass and all that, they went back the next week.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't say it's not about protection. I mean, this is all obfuscation. They're just lying. Just a smoke screen. You know what I'm saying? We know what it is. We all know what it is. They don't have respect for black men. They don't want us to, like you said, they want us to be the Sully. They want us to be the super simp killers that die, when they act up for, in their honor and all that nonsense. And we're not doing it no more.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wrap. They cooked. It's over.
Exactly. All right. Speaking of it's over, I'm gonna do final thoughts. So, Citizen, what's your final thought?
Oh, nothing, man. I just good for having me on, man. And y'all brothers stay strong, man. Hey, them Gen Z girls, they about to turn 21. You know what I'm saying? So when it's COVID in, look out, because that's the future. All right, y'all be easy.
All right, peace.
All
And
right.
that's another thing I want to say, that the Gen Z girls at least learned. They're further removed away from this Mammy stereotype and blah blah blah. They're learning. So, I have hope for them, but these chicks are trying to just like reinstill all of this old stuff, like colorism, like all of this stuff, all of these isms, dates back are as old as the Mammy trope. And that may have worked back then, but it's not going to, we're not having it now.
Yeah.
Melody, final thoughts.
Thanks for having me, GC. Great stream. Like I said, I've never experienced colorism before. I don't really know what they experience, but it can be like an unattractiveness that makes men not want to talk to them, or it can be the skin tone. Who knows? But yeah, thanks for having me.
Melody, hold on right quick. Men do want to talk to them. Each and every single person that you hear here on YouTube crying about colorism is engaged or married to a man with an above average income. The whole thing is made up. It's made up to garner sympathy. Men are obviously talking to these women. Many of them have kids. Somebody was talking to them, right?
Yeah.
Just like you didn't experience it, they haven't either. But they say they do. And this is something to, try to get the men on their side.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them be pretty and still, cry colorism. But
Yeah. Well, they got to complain, because for one, if they don't complain, the sisterhood will retaliate against them, as you've seen. So they have to make the complaints, whether it's valid or not. And two, it garners sympathy, and sympathy is like a currency to them. We already caught that Neva chick in the lie.
oh yeah.
Yeah. So just be wary of that. But that being said, I want to thank the Cash Apps and Super Chats. I want to thank the managers and moderators. I want to thank those who are listening silently and those who are participating in the chat. Once again, this is Game Changer 00100. Game over. Peace.
Bye.
All right.